Hello and welcome to the Reach for the Stars 2026 meet hosted by Stars Special Olympics Aquatics Club at Libertyville High School. Today we're going to have a nice group of events starting off with the women's 100-yard freestyle. Most individual events will be at the beginning with some relays towards the end. My name is Luke Pachero, and this is my co-announcer, Ethan Audette. Ethan, how are you doing today?
I'm great. This is a great morning for a swim meet. I had a little bit of snow last night. Made it a little bit difficult getting into the pool, but seems like all of our competitors got here safe. Looking forward to a good meet tonight. This morning, sorry.
For sure, for sure. So while we kill the time here, a few fun facts about this pool. So this is actually a decently new pool. It was built in 2019 and replaced the old Libertyville High School pool, which was a much shorter 25-yard pool built in 1971. This pool, obviously 50 yards, we're only using, or 50 meters, excuse me, we're only using 25 yards today in the competition end, which is the 7 to 6 foot area, which is the opposite of the diving well on the other side. Ethan, you swim in the old pool, correct?
Yes, I did.
This is, I think both of us can agree, this is a major upgrade from the old one.
Oh, yeah. Having basically two pools in one is huge. You can fit a lot more swimmers. Correct me, I believe the old pool was only 6 lanes wide. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. So we have 2 extra lanes, a whole other pool, and even a little middle section. A lot better. The locker room's ton nicer.
Yes, for sure. Up first, we have Event 1, the women's 100-yard freestyle. This event, 4 lengths of the pool. And it looks like we'll be on our way soon. So as we can see here, in lane 2, we're going to have Jana Blowers. In lane 3, Ashley Ottavino. In lane 4, Leah Madden. Lane 5, Celissa Har. In lane 6, Olivia Jens. In lane 7, and in lane 7, Petty Heimbach. Looks like behind the blocks, timers getting ready to go. You know, Ethan, these are some big meets to put on, and it's really cool seeing all the volunteers here to help. It's quite impressive. So
Yeah,
if
big
you're volunteer
showing
watching, we thank you for coming today and making this meet possible.
Women's 100-yard freestyle.
And off they go.
Event 1, the women's 100-yard freestyle in the water now.
Off to a start, lane 4, Leah Madden pulling ahead. I believe, she's 15 years old, and I believe she actually swims for Libertyville High School.
Yeah, that's correct.
She is the youngest person in this heat, only 15 years of age. Next to her, lane 5, Celissa Haar, close on her tail. See what Madden's first 50 is. It's going to be a 47.01. Madden was seated with a 146.4. So we'll see if she can break that time.
Yeah, if she can rein in the second 50 in about 59 seconds, that'll put her on par to match her best time. If she can go below that, then it'll be a new PR for her. Coming in at the 75-yard mark, at about a 113. She seems to be well on pace for a new PR.
Definitely aggressive with those kicks. You know, the 100 is an event where you want to go fast, and using your legs is an important thing to do. A lot of times swimmers forget to kick it, to keep kicking, but if you're not kicking, it's just dead weight. But Madden coming in with, looks like, is she going to be under 140? And it is a 139.7. That's a 7-second drop for Leah Madden. What a great swim. Lane 3, Ashley Ottaviano comes in with a 148.9. She was seated a 218, so that was a major drop for her. That's amazing. Next in was lane 5, Celissa Haar with a 154.25. Also seated a 215, so that's another big drop for her. And coming into the flags, Olivia Oatgens. She was seated at 225, and it looks like she's gonna beat it. A bit of a soft touch, but I think that was a drop to me. Oh yeah, 223.36. Next up, we have the 100-yard freestyle. There are going to be 2 heats of this. Swimmers were told to stand. It's a very common thing that happens with all levels. You know, any flinch, any movement. Whoever's starting, usually say stand, give the swimmers a fresh start after.
Stay quiet behind the blocks, please, for the start.
Come on, Jake.
And off they go.
In the water now, heat number 1 of event 2, the men's 100-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Eugene Ratmond. Lane 4, Charlie Williams. Lane 5, Christopher Nickel. And lane 6, James Williams. We see a strong commanding lead from lane 6. That's James Williams, the 46-year-old. His entry time, a 2:03.06. He's looking to drop some serious times here.
Lane 3, Eugene Reitman in second, but a battle for third between Charlie Williams and Christopher Nickel in lanes 4 and 5. Looks like Nickel will come before Williams at the 50. About 2 seconds faster, but that's only half of the race.
Lane 6, that's James Williams. Might have missed the wall, actually, on his first 50 mark. Or we have a bit of an issue with the touchpad. It did not pick up his first 50 split.
James Williams in the flags. He's going to touch with 147.42, which is a pretty big drop from USC to the 2:03.06. So that's about 13 seconds, or excuse me, 16 seconds. But yes, Ethan, you were correct. There was a soft touch on his 50.
In second place here, lane 5, that's Christopher Nickel coming in with a 1:58.14, just below that 2-minute mark. Huge milestone for him. His entry time was a 2:19.65, so about a 21-second drop for him. Huge drop. Congratulations to all of our competitors in that heat.
So Ethan, when we're talking about soft touches, especially at least at Libertyville High School, we have a 3-step process for race finishes with some redundancy built in. So obviously we have our touch pads, but the touch pads always aren't perfect. So behind the blocks, the timers have not only a stopwatch but also a plunger. What the plunger does is it's the backup for the touch pad and is essentially a manual stop for the timing system. And then if that fails, the timers have another backup, which is the actual stopwatch. You can see behind the blocks they have the clipboards, and they will take the time, write it down, and if needed, they have that as a backup. Next up, we have Heat 2 of the 100-yard freestyle. Off they go. Everyone really aggressive, but lane 2, Side Raza coming out in front. Pulling ahead of lane 3, Christopher Richardson. In lane 4, we have Alonso Dagnino. In lane 5, Gustavus Gibertson. And in lane 6, Johnny Seeger. Said Raza coming in first at the 50 with a 33.3, followed closely by Christopher Richardson. Richardson has a bit more of an aggressive kick. We'll see if that will help him on this last 25. Raza still keeping that lead as they go into the flags. Raza seated with a 142.8, and he will go a 109.69. That's a huge drop, which is amazing to see. In second place, we had Christopher Richardson with a 113.3. In third place, we had Alonso Dagnino with a 114.69. In fourth, Johnny Seeger with a 121.4, and in fifth, we have Gustavus Gibertson with a 122.05. Next up, we have the women's and men's 100-yard IM. With this meet, we were able to combine some events. So you'll see the women, or the two women in lanes 1 and 2, and the men in 3 through 8. As you can see here in lane 1, we have Caroline Colian. Lane 2, Marietta Landwehr. In lane 3, Andre Dagnino. In lane 4, Nathaniel Galvian. In lane 5, MJ Sarulo. In lane 6, Rocky Roklitz. In lane 7, Maverick Bomberger. And in lane 8, Charlie Williams. And they are off. And the 100-yard IM, the first 25 is butterfly, the second 25 is backstroke, third 25 is breaststroke, and the final 25 is freestyle. So you're going through all 4 strokes in one race. IM standing for individual medley, which is all 4 strokes. Starting off with a lead, that is lane 3, Andre Dagnino, Dagnino, coming into his first 50 with a 37.2. And a race for second between lane 4 and 5. Looks like lane 5, that is MJ Sarulo, beating out lane 4, Nathaniel Galvian at the 50, but Galvian catching up in the breaststroke leg.
We see here at lane 3, Andre Dagnino keeping up a very fast tempo on his last 25, the freestyle. Coming in for a win, about a 120. We did see a soft touch there, but that's still about a 4-second drop for him, which is huge in the event short as the 100-yard IM. What's important about his tempo is that he's going to be hurting. His body wants to quit coming into that last 25. But he was able to keep up the speed, keep up the tempo of his strokes. Is going to propel him much faster forward into that last 25.
If you are just tuning in, welcome to the Reach for the Stars 2026, hosted by the Stars Special Olympics Aquatics team at Libertyville High School. We just finished the women's and men's 100-yard IM, and our next event on the heat sheet is the 25-yard freestyle. getting in on the other end. This is heat 1 of 3. Obviously, these 25s, much shorter race, so you're able to go after it a lot more.
Timers be ready for those punches from the start.
In the water, getting ready to go. Looks like a no-show from lanes 1 and 2. Or, excuse me, lane 1 still getting in the water. In lane... Interestingly enough, our heat sheet shows 1 through 5. Looks like we have lane 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Excuse me, I think our heat sheet, our announcer heat sheet, may be wrong, and the one you just saw on screen is correct. In lane 1, we have Isabella Sip. Libby Weaver in lane 2 does not appear to have shown up. Lane 3, Maddie Gapsky. Lane 4, Denise Kolev. Lane 5, Grace Hansen. And lane 6, Maria Sednick. Off they go. Sendick in lane 6, slight lead over lane 5, Grace Hansen. But watch out, lane 4, Maddie Gapsky, close behind, pulling ahead of Hansen in lane 5. But Sendick in lane 6, still ahead. Inside the flags, Sendick is going to touch first. Looks like a soft touch, but a 25 or a 26 on the clock.
Timers, remember your plungers.
Lane 1. Looks like Isabel Sip in lane 1 just finished about the 1:15 mark, which is about a 10-second drop for her. That's pretty cool. Next up, we have heat 2 of 3.
swimmers in the water.
Climbing in now, it's going to be heat 2 of 3 for the event 5, the women's 25-yard freestyle.
Taken in the water.
Looks like we have almost a full heat. In lane 1, Kidia Lammer. In lane 2, Amanda Garcia. In lane 4, Haley Morris. In lane 6, Maddie McLaughlin. And in lane 8, Jill Sick. And they are off. Lane 1, Kidia Lammer pulling ahead with close competitions between lane 4, Haley Morris and Kidia Lammer. Oh, it looks like Morris has pulled ahead and will finish first with around a 27. You know, Ethan, soft touches are pretty common, especially with our touch pads. The way they're built, there's kind of a lip that they sit over onto the little gutter there, and it's very common for swimmers to kind of grab at the wall when they finish, and especially with our touch pads, if you don't push down against the wall and you grab over the top, touchpad does not usually register. So a pretty common issue with our touch pads.
It's not a problem though. So we have our timers back there. There is no requirement for the swimmers to touch the front of the wall as long as they touch the wall in some manner. So just because it's a soft touch does not mean they're going to be disqualified or anything. It just means our scoreboard's not going to have their time. But our timers behind the blocks, that's why we have our redundancy. They'll have it. If they push the plunger, then it should go up on the scoreboard anyways. Sometimes it doesn't quite work, but rest assured their times are still counted. On the bulkhead now, we see heat 3 of 3 of event number 5, the women's 25-yard freestyle.
Quiet for the start, please. Quiet for the start. This will be heat 3 of the women's 25-3.
In the water now, heat 3 of 3 of the women's 25-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Holly Masters. Lane 2, Mary Juris. Lane 3, Catherine Reed. Lane 4, Celisa Har. Lane 5, Claudia Casper. Lane 6, Rachel Palmer. Lane 7, Lily Stoffer. And lane 8, Angela Arguda. At this point, folks, there might just be an issue with our scoreboard. Unsure who won that one just there. Up next, we're going to have event number 6, the men's 25-yard freestyle.
In heat 1 of 5, we have in lane 1, Spencer Aquino. In lane 2, Ilario Cristancho. In lane 3, Jake Weaver. And lane 4, Jack Rubino. Rubino in lane 4, the youngest of this heat, only 9 years old. Off they go. Lane 2, that is Ilario Cristancho. Ahead at the start, however, lane 3, Jake Weaver pulling ahead. Can he keep that lead? Into the flags. Watch out for lane 4, Jack Rubino. And looks like he is going to touch first with Jake Weaver in a close second. Next up, heat 2 of 5.
Up at the bulkhead now, heat 2 of 5 of the men's 25-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Chip Savdra. Lane 2, Harrison Fisher. Lane 3, Gary Holman. Lane 4, Daniel Avila. Lane 5, Joe O'Brien. Lane 6, Nathan Neville. Lane 7, Mikey Hull.
If you are just tuning in, welcome to the Stars, or Reach for the Stars 2026, hosted by the Stars Special Olympics team. We are in heat 2 of 5 of event number 6, the men's 25-yard freestyle. All of our swimmers here seated between the 55 and 47 range, so some really fast times. Keep an eye on lane 4, Daniel Avila, seated with a 47.63, about a second and a half faster than his two neighbors, Gary Hallman in lane 3 and Joe O'Brien in lane 5, both seated with 49 49s.
We saw there a goggle issue for lane 6. That's Joe O'Brien. Sorry, Nathan Neville.
Sorry, folks.
Got some new goggles now in the water. Looks ready to go.
And off they go. Lane 6, Nathan Neville pulling ahead. He is the youngest person in this heat at only 13 years of age. Inside the flags, Neville still cruising along. He's going to touch with around a 25, which is a very good time for him.
Solid 20-second drop for him, almost cutting his time in half. Huge time drop.
Next up, we have heat 3 of 5. In this next heat, we have in lane 2, Jeremy Hard, lane 3, Mitchell Hahn, lane 4, Tommy Brayton, lane 5, Logan Null, lane 6, Luke Greenbaum, lane 7, Clark Nehigh, and lane 8, Cooper Enright. In the water they go. Everyone's seated in the high to mid 30s. See who pulls out. Great start from lane 6. That is Luke Greenbaum. Very aggressive stroke. Just look at him go. In the flags at the 19-second mark. He was seated with a 35 flat. We'll see what he does. A 26, that's a 9-second time drop, which on a 25 is amazing. Next up, we have heat 4 of 5. We're going to start to see in this heat some 20s. Especially we have in lanes 4 and 5, Nolan Kim in 4 and Tier Thomas in lane 5, both seated with a 23 mid.
Only .03 separates the entry times of those two. They're both going to be neck and neck in this race, looking for some time drops.
Yeah, we've seen some massive time drops so far this meet. Even in these shorter events, obviously time drops are a little harder to get, but we are seeing some huge time drops which are amazing to see. In this heat, in lane 1, we have Jonathan Friedman. In lane 2, Daniel Burmeister. Lane 3, Chris Waltz. Lane 4, Nolan Kim. Lane 5, Tier Thomas. And lane 7, John Remitz.
It's still anybody's race, though. All of these swimmers have been putting in tremendous amounts of work in and out of the pool since the last time that they've swam.
Off they go. Great start from lane number 5, Tier Thomas. But watch out, lane 3, Chris Waltz, pulling ahead of the pack. He was seated with a 24-3. In the flags at the 17-second mark. We'll see if he can beat that. And he does. He goes around a 22, which would be a 2-second time drop. Up next, the final heat of the men's 25-yard freestyle. Some really fast times here, especially between lanes 4 and 5. Again, John Serve and Austin Pradhan, both seated as 16. We'll see who can come out on top. As we've seen in this previous heat, we were initially talking about lanes 4 and 5, but lane 3, who was seated a little slower, was able to come out and win. So it's really anyone's game. Looks like a bit of a false start from lane 7 and lane 2. Off they go. Great start from lane 4. John Serve, able to pull ahead. Just look at that stroke. Aggressive arms, fast kick. Watch out low. Lane 5, Austin Pradhan, pulling ahead at the flags. He's going to go about a 15. It looks like Pradhan won. Austin Pradhan, your 25-yard freestyle men's champion. That will conclude our 2 events of the 25-yard freestyle. Up next, we have event number 7, the women's 100-yard breaststroke. This will be combined with event 8, the men's 100-yard breaststroke. Lanes 1 through 4 will be your women, and 7 and 8 will be your men.
This is the men's and women's 100 breaststroke, 4 lengths of the pool. Lane 7 and 8, you need your men up. Daniel and Mantis, you're up. Daniel and Mantis, you're up.
Lane 7 and 8 getting ready behind the block.
This is a 100-yard breaststroke, both the men and the women.
And off they go. In lane 1, Anna Fang. In lane 2, Amanda Church. Lane 3, Edith Reynolds. Lane 4, Mackenzie Dunnett. And then in lane 7, Mantis Pansarovis. And in lane 8, Daniel James. Lane 3, Edith Reynolds. See what at the 203, pulling ahead. But it looks like lane 4, Mackenzie Dunnett got a bit of a better turn, so you can stay ahead. But watch out, lane 7, Mantis Pansarovas. Seated with a 129.32, which is a really fast time. We'll see if he can beat that. Coming into the first 50, he touches with a 45.79. Our battle between lanes 3 and 4 looks like lane 4, Mackenzie Dunnett, has been able to start building a gap between Edith Reynolds. Can Reynolds pull ahead, or I mean catch up? Seems like she is. Dunnett will start to feel that pressure. Who will touch first at the 75 mark? Dunnett does, but Reynolds close behind. Lane 7, though, Mantis Pansarovas inside the flags at the 1:33 second mark. He will go a looks like a bit of a soft touch. Looks like a 1:36, I believe. Yes, it is. It's a 1:36.25 from him. A little bit of an ad. And it looks like Dunnett was able to hold out Reynolds for second place. Only 1.5 seconds apart. In fourth, lane 8, Daniel James with a 2:05.13. In fifth, lane 2, Amanda Church with a 2:09.42, which is a second drop for her. And in sixth place, Anna Fang with a 2:19.32, which is about a 3-second drop. Up next, we have event 10, the men's 100-yard butterfly. Only two swimmers in this heat. In lane 4, Maxim Reininger, and in lane 5, Christopher Nickel. Obviously, Ethan, 100 fly, it's a big event. Flies is, some would say, the hardest stroke, especially when it comes to swimming 100 or even a 200, because you just get so tired with your arms. Obviously, both short axis strokes, the butterfly and breaststroke, are really tough strokes, especially when you're trying to be aggressive.
Yeah, the 100-yard butterfly is, in my opinion, an awful event. It's very difficult. Maintaining the form required for butterfly is going to be incredibly difficult for these swimmers. As they round out their first 50, they're going to be getting tired. Their form might suffer just a little bit. Those hips are going to drop, and that's going to make it even harder. It's going to require even more energy to keep moving forward with that additional drag. We see here lane 4, that's going to be Maxim Reininger, blazing fast. See some great technique from him. Coming to his first 50 of a 35.24. His entry time of 1:18.04.
Yeah, he is just zooming. Tempo slowing down a little bit, but he is keeping a really good form. By this time in a 100 fly, usually you'll be breathing every stroke, but Reininger in lane 4, able to breathe every other, doing a very good job as he is inside the flags. He was seated with a 1:18.04. Looks like it's going to be a slight add for him with a 1:22.12, but still a really good time for him. In lane 5, Christopher Nickel closing in on his final 25. He was seated with a 2:44.02. It's about to be the 2-minute mark, so he is going to drop some major time if he stays on track. Inside the flags. The end is in sight. And he goes a 2:23, excuse me, 53. That must feel really good. It's that's over a 20-second time drop. Next up, event 11, the women's 50-yard backstroke. 2 heats in this event. This is heat 1 of 2. And backstroke, especially in these shorter events when you're trying to sprint. Really what you want to look for is underwaters off of the start that help drive up to your breakout. You want to see very consistent and fast kick in backstroke. It's a very, very important component. And obviously throwing your arms fast, and don't have your head too far back, but have it up enough where your hips aren't sinking down. Off they go. In lane 1, we have Shannon Bray. In lane 2, Taylor Way. In lane 3, Sophia Tweel. Lane 4, Amanda Garcia. Lane 5, Kirsten Benson. Lane 6, Maxine Del Mundo. And in lane 7, Monica Leisowitz. Excuse me. Leisowitz in lane 7, pulling ahead at the 25. yard mark. As you can see, she has very fast legs, throwing her arms back. Inside the flags. Obviously, the flags in this race are a big part of your race because that tells you when to start counting your strokes into the wall. She finished with a 51.07. She was seated with a 1:56.3, so a very, very fast time for her. Coming in second, lane 6, that's Maxine Del Mundo, seated with a 1:22.8. That's a huge time drop for her. Looks like lane 4, bit of a soft touch. Coming in our final 3 swimmers in lanes 1, 2, and 3. Lane 2 touches with a 1:43.71. That's Taylor Way. Inside the flags for lanes 1 and 3. Looks like Shannon Bray slightly ahead, and she touches with a 1:57, it looks like. And lane 3, Sophia Tweel.
It's a 2:03.72 for lane 3. That's about a 5-second drop for Sophia Tweel.
Next up, heat 2 of 2, final heat of event 11, the women's 50-yard backstroke. Looks like this is gonna be a full heat, or close to. See some really fast times here. Watch out for lane 1, Mackenzie Dunnett, seated with a 48.03.
In lane 4 and 5, Lindsay Piscool and lane 5, Leah Madden. Both their times 1:01. They're going to be looking to go sub-minute. That's going to be a huge milestone for them in the 50-yard backstroke.
For sure. In lane 1, we have Mackenzie Dunnett. Lane 2, Brittany Knipes. Lane 3, Claudia Casper. Lane 4, Lindsay Piscuel. Lane 5, Leah Madden. Lane 6, Lauren Miller. And lane 8, Tempest McKenzie. Lane 1, Mackenzie Dunnett pulling ahead at the 25-yard mark. As you can see down there towards the bottom of your screen, very aggressive kicks and fast arms, which is what you need in a backstroke. Inside the flags at the 42-second mark. See with a 48, let's see what she can do. Looks like she goes a 49 high. Oh, no, excuse me. 48.61. A slight add, but still a very fast time. Looks like Monica Leswisk from the previous heat, who went a 50 low, actually got second, as her time beat out lane 2, Brittany Knip's time of 53.7 in this heat. But nonetheless, Mackenzie Dunnett is your women's 50-yard backstroke champion with a time of 48.61. So very, very impressive time. That will conclude event 11. And up next, we have event 12, the men's 50-yard backstroke. Off they go. In lane 2, we have Matthew Vukmir. In lane 3, Adam Tracy. Lane 4, Daniel Brown. Lane 5, Ryan Carden. Lane 6, Nicholas Senes. Lane 7, Kyle Johnson. And lane 8, Ben Campbell. Lane 2, Matthew Vukmir pulling ahead at the halfway point, about the 30-second mark. But watch out, lane 4, Daniel Brown, close on his tail. And as we can see, lane 3, Adam Tracy, very aggressive stroke. Can he catch up to Daniel Brown in lane 4?
Lane 2 had a great turn, putting him about a body length ahead of lane 4. Lane 2 is going to be Matthew Vukmir, whose entry time a 1:26.13. He's going to have a huge time drop right now. About a 102, 102.63 for him. 24-second time drop. That's huge. He was trailed by lane 4. That's Daniel Brown. Entry time 1:26.14. He dropped about 16 seconds.
Finishing this heat up, we have Nicholas Senas in lane 6, inside the flags. He was seated with a 1:42.82. Let's see if he can take some time out. Looks like it's going to be a slight add. Comes in with a 1:44.75. Next up, heat 2 of 3. This heat will start to see some sub-minute times, which is really impressive. Lanes 4 and 5 for Rodrigo Bolivar and lane 5, Kieran Callahan, both with a sub-minute. Callahan in lane 5 looks like had a no-show. But lane 6, David Ulmer pulling ahead. And in lane 2, Benjamin Casulas passing Rodrigo Bolivar for second, with Brian Hall trailing the pack. But just watch lane 6, David Ulmer. Just pull ahead, a very strong kick. Nice, strong stroke, and it is paying off for him. He was seated with a 1:06.69 inside the flags at the 40-second mark. He is going to drop some major time here. He touches with a 1:45.09, just over a 20-second time drop, which is just amazing. Second lane, or coming in at second, lane 2, Benjamin Casulas with a 54.53. Also a major time drop for him. He was seated with a 1:11.83. Next up, the third and final heat of the men's 50-yard backstroke. Some really fast times here. Watch out for lane 2, Maxwell Tonjes. He's seated with a 28.81, which is a blazing fast time. But it looks like a no-show for him. In this third and final heat, in lane 3, MJ Sarulo. In lane 4, Ryan Nash. Lane 5, Nathaniel Galvian. Lane 6, Christopher Richardson. Lane 7, Chris Weebler. And lane 8, John Mixis. Lane 6, Christopher Richardson. Amazing turn, really aggressive stroke, and you can just see those kicks. He was seated with a 50.25. He is here to drop some major time today inside the flags at the 32-second mark. He finishes with a 36.82. Amazing time for him. Almost a 15-second time drop. Followed closely by lane 3, MJ Cerullo with a 42.04. Decent time drop for him, too. That leaves Christopher Richardson as your men's 50-yard backstroke champion with a time of 36.82. Blazing fast. Up next, we have the women's 25-yard butterfly starting on the other end of the pool. This is heat 1 of 1. If you are just joining us, welcome to the Reach for the Stars 2026 meet hosted by the Stars Special Olympics team. We've seen some really fast races and some major time drops earlier today. And up next, we have event 13, the women's 25-yard butterfly. In this next heat, in lane 2, we have Jenny Gustafson, lane 3, Haley Morris, lane 4, Brittany Nips, lane 5, Mary Juris, and lane 6, Ashley Ottaviano. Looks like a bit of confusion. In these 25, swimmers are asked to start inside the water. A lot of times these swimmers are used to being able to dive in, since you're able to turn all that potential energy into kinetic energy and push your start forward. However, a lot choose to take the safer route and just start in the water, which allows you to get a nice, clean push off. As we see here, lane 4, Brittany Nipes gets a great start and is just pulling ahead. Inside the flags at the 19-second mark. Brittany Nips finishes with a 25. Beating out lanes 5 and 6. Next up, event 14, the men's 25-yard butterfly, also heat 1 of 1.
In lane 3, Tim Siebert. Lane 4, Kevin Stith. Lane 5, Chris Walty. Lane 6, Mitchell Hahn.
In butterfly, obviously it's another short axis stroke, meaning you're rotating about your hips. You really want to focus on driving your arms underwater, because that's where you're getting most of your speed from. As you can see, lane 3, Tim Siebert pulling ahead. You can just watch how much he's moving his hips and kicking his legs, being able to drive forward in the water. Comes in to the flags at the 17-second mark and finishes with about a 23. The clock on your screen, obviously not, if I remember correctly, the timing system, or our timing system, does not recognize 25s. So you're not going to see the times on the scoreboard. However, that's why we have our timers behind the blocks, getting those times for our swimmers. Speaking of timers, we want to thank all of our volunteers for coming out today and helping us make this happen. these meets are a big thing, and having a lot of volunteers is really cool to see between our timers, our lifeguards, our officials. We want to thank you all for helping today. Up next, we have event 15, the women's 50-yard backstroke. There are 2 heats. Heat 1 of 2, getting ready on the bulkhead. In lane 1, we have Kidia Lamer. In lane 2, Libby Weaver. In lane 3, Mary Grace Cheverud. In lane 4, Denise Kolev. Lane 5, Natalie Pollock. Lane 6, Lily Stouffer. Lane 7, Grace Hansen. And lane 8, Shannon Bray. If you're watching and you don't understand all the whistles and how the starting procedures work in swimming, it's pretty simple. So usually behind the blocks, when you're getting ready for your race, you'll hear those short whistles. Usually there's about 5 to 6 of them. And when you hear the short whistles, that's essentially, your reminder, hey, your event's up next, get ready. And usually that's when you step up to the block, finish warming up. Once you hear the long whistle, that's when you step up to the up onto the block or in the water, depending how you are entering. Then they will say, take your marks, which is when you then get set in your starting positions, and then they will do their little beep, and that's when they go. If you're just tuning in, we want to welcome you to the Reach for the Stars 2026 meet here at Libertyville High School, hosted by the Stars Special Olympics team. My name is Luke Pachero, and this is Ethan Audette, and we want to thank you for tuning in and watching today. Getting in the water, we have Heat 1 of Event 15, the women's 25-yard backstroke. Now, as we were saying about the starting procedure, it's a little different for backstroke. There's usually 2 long whistles. There's a whistle for you to get into the water, and depending on how the previous heat goes, if there's someone still in the water, then they get out as you get in. And then there's a second long whistle, which is essentially to get you set up in your starting position, whether that be if you're using just the gutter to grab on, or a lot of times in other different competitive events, there are wedges you can pull down onto the touchpad, or even bars on the blocks to hold. As we are getting ready to start, we can take a look at lane 5, Natalie Pollock, seated with a 36.9, the fastest in this heat. Will she be able to pull it out? We've seen a lot of drops today, so the seat times have not always shown their results. As we can see, lane 6, that is Lily Stouffer, pulling ahead with close competition from lane 4, Denise Kolev. Denise Kolev, only 17, able to build a bit of a gap as they go into the flags. Kolev will finish first. It looks like a 33 or a 34. Just a pretty big time drop for her. She was seated with a 42.09.
Finishing off, Shannon Bray in lane 8. Her entry time of 53. She came in about a 47, so a 6-second time drop for her.
Next up, our second and final heat of the women's 25-yard backstroke. In lane 1, Holly Masters. Lane 2, Rachel Palmer. Looks like no swimmers in lane 3 and 4, but lane 5, Lindsay Croning.
Our fastest C is going to be lane 5, Lindsay Croning. Her entry time of 23.62.
That
she's
is
going to be looking
blazing
for,
fast.
Yeah, she's going to be looking for a time drop here. All these swimmers have put in tremendous amount of work in and out of the water since the last time that they've swam these events. That's why we've seen so many time drops. You see there, lane 5 had a great start. She's leading by just a hair over lane 2. That's Rachel Palmer. Going to be neck and neck going into the flags. Looks like that went to lane 5, about 26, I think. Not quite a time drop, but still a blazing fast time. She's going to be the champion of your event 15, the women's 25-yard backstroke. Up next, event 16, the men's 25-yard backstroke.
You know, Ethan, a lot of respect for all of our swimmers here today. Swimming is a really tough sport because you have to be so consistent with it. Contrary to other sports like football or basketball, swimming you have to be consistent. You know, there's a saying that one practiced off needs 2 days to recover. So missing time is really hard, and being able to put in all the work here is really impressive for these guys. Up next in heat 1 of 3, in lane 1 we have Chip Saverda. In lane 3, Daniel Avila. Lane 4, Gary Hallman. Lane 5, Jack Rubino. And lane 6, Spencer Aquino. Lane 3, Daniel Avila pulling ahead. Can he keep his lead against lane 1, Chip Saverda? Both very close. Looks like Saverda a little ahead inside the flags. Will he take it? Looks like he does. Saverda in lane 1 is your winner. Looked like about a 45.
.22-second drop for Chip Saverda in lane 1.
Next up, heat 2 of 3. Almost everyone here is seated below a minute. We'll watch out for lane 2, Benjamin Walkington, seated with a 47.21. We want to thank everyone for watching today. Your support means a lot, being able to do these events, whether you're watching on YouTube or through our Wildcat Productions app. We want to thank you for tuning in for Reach for the Stars 2026. Wildcat Productions is a student-run club here through Libertyville High School. All of our crew today, including us announcers, we are all high school students. We do this because we love it and we want to support our clubs here at Libertyville.
Up on the bulkhead now, it's going to be heat 2 of the men's 25-yard backstroke.
In this heat, looks like a no-show for lane 1. It's a little tough to see from our announcing table up here. But in lane 1, it would be Sean Clancy. In lane 2, Benjamin Walkington. Lane 3, Connor Wood. Lane 4, Ian Jenker. Lane 5, Nathan Nebel. Lane 6, Harrison Fisher, and lane 7, Jeremy Hard. Looks like we're still getting ready on the bulkhead. As we hear that long whistle, the first of two, telling the swimmers to get in the water. Looks like we are getting ready to rock and roll. Second of the two whistles, telling the swimmers to get ready. Off they go. Great start from lane 5, Nathan Nebel. We said his name a lot earlier. If I remember correctly. Nonetheless, he is inside the flags at the 20-second mark, far ahead of the rest of the pack. He was seated with a 56.25. It's going to go about a 26 or 27, which is almost half of his original time. What a great swim there from Neville. Finishing off this heat, lane 6, Harrison Fisher coming in around the 1 minute mark, followed closely by lane 1, Sean Clancy, and lane 7, Jeremy Hard. Next up, our third and final heat of the men's 25-yard backstroke. Running a bit of ahead of schedule here. This heat is supposed to start at 10:27, about 5 minutes ahead. In this heat, lane 4, Austin Pradhan, seated with a 19:06. We saw his name earlier in the men's 25-yard freestyle. So we'll see how he does, whether he can keep his seed time. Seated second is lane 5, Matthew Wetcher, with a 23.73, but a little over 4.5 seconds slower than Pradhan. But as we've seen, the seed times have not been telling the true story here, because there have been some major time drops, which have been amazing to see. and honestly, in my opinion, make the racing a lot more fun because you don't really know who's going to win.
Up on the bulkhead now, heat 3 in lane 1, Troy Schuring, lane 2, Jonah Malecki, lane 3, Shaw Karanen, lane 4, Austin Pradham, lane 5, Matthew Wetcher, lane 6, Nolan Kim, and lane 7, Matt Liebler. Lane 6, Nolan Kim, only 11 years old. His entry time, a 29.09. He's going to be looking for some serious time drops here today.
Second of the 2 whistles telling the swimmers to get ready. And they're off. Pradhan in lane 4. Great underwaters there. Just look at that kick. Going sky high. Watch out, lane 5, Matthew Wetcher. Close behind, inside the flags. Who will touch first? Pradhan does with either an 18 high or a 19 low. Followed quickly by Wetcher. Closing the heat out, lane 2, Jonah Malecki, and lane 1, Troy Schuring. But that leaves Austin Pradhan as your men's 25-yard backstroke champion. Next up, a bit of a longer event. We have both the women's and men's 200-yard freestyle combined into one heat. Lanes 1 through 4 are your women, lanes 7 and 8 are your men. Obviously, 200-yard freestyle, it's 8 total lengths or 4 50s. It's a bit of a strategic race because you're not just going all out. You have to conserve some energy, or we call pacing. Usually, when you're swimming the 200, you want to go out your first 50, what some would call easy speed. And that's getting out, going kind of long and strong, going fast, but not shedding too much speed. Your second 50 is where it matters. That's where you need to get up and push a little to help establish a pace. The third 50 is when you're going to start to hurt. That's when you need to push, 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 and not lose your time. And the last 50 is put in all you have left. Whatever's left in the tank, you drive to that finish.
In my opinion, that third 50 is the most crucial 50. That's kind of your make or break 50. Keeping that momentum going into the fourth 50 is going to be super important. A lot of swimmers think that they can kind of cruise that third one and then have all the energy left for the fourth, but then they die off and they just can't get it back up.
Yeah. Going out lane 4, that is Gillian Segal. In close competition with lane 7, Mantis Pansarovas. In lane 1, we have Kirsten Benson. Lane 2, Alexa Patton. Lane 3, Melanie Hardwood. Lane 4, Gillian Segal. And then for your men's 200-yard freestyle, Mattis Pansarovas in lane 7 and Samuel Devereaux in lane 8. 34:15 for lane 7, Pansarovas. And in lane 4, 40.37 for Gillian Segal. Gillian Segal actually swimming in the next heat after this event, the 50-yard butterfly. Pansarovas not losing speed, building that momentum. As you can see, in the 200, you want not just a faster tempo, but you want longer strokes with more power. And you can see that there he's reaching, pulling underwater, and finishing his stroke all the way with some kick supporting him. At his 75-yard mark, great turn from him. Able to keep a nice, tight streamline up to his breakout. Especially with turns in these longer events, they're crucial because having a faster turn, while that only adds small fractions of a time, an event like this where you have 7 turns total, that time adds up. So having aggressive turns and not just the actual flip, but also in and out of walls is crucial in both time and maintaining momentum to keep your energy. Pansarovas seems like not losing energy, just driving into those turns. He was seated a 234 flat. We'll see if he can beat that as he laps his neighbor, Samuel Devereaux, in lane 8. Gillian Segal in lane 4, leading the women's section of the 200-yard freestyle. Oh, excuse me, I was a 50 behind. Your Pansarovas finished looks like a soft touch. So I'm not seeing his time on the board, but looks like he is finished over in lane 7.
Yeah, it was about a 238 for him.
Gillian finishing first in lane 4 for the women's 20-yard freestyle with a 3:15.13. A bit of an ad for both the top finishers in the men's and women's. Obviously, when you're swimming at this high of a level, not every race will be a subtraction from your best times. And that's just part of the harshness of the sport. In third place, Samuel Devereaux in lane 8 with a 3:43.4, which is actually a pretty big time drop for him. He was seated a 4:08.09. In fourth, lane 3, Melanie Hartwood seated a 3:54.03. A bit, or about a 2-second ad, coming in with a 3:56.38. As you can see on your screen there, lane 3, Melanie Hartwood. What a great swim for her. Finishing out the heat, lane 6, who we don't happen to have on our heat sheet, and lane 1, Kirsten Benson. Lane 1, Kirsten Benson closing in on the finish. She was seated a 5:00.61. Looks like a bit of an ad. Ads around the board from almost all the swimmers in the 200 freestyle. It's a tricky event, especially it's a longer event and it's a hard one to train for because especially those distance events, consistency is key. Next up, event number 19, the women's 50-yard butterfly.
We see here lane 4, Jillian Segal just competed in the 200-yard freestyle. She's probably tired. That's from one challenging event to the next. We also lane 3, Alexa Patton, just to the 200-yard freestyle too. Both those competitors, their bodies are hurting, and they're getting back in.
That is some real grit and determination right there. In lane 3, Alexa Patton. Lane 4, Gillian Segal. Lane 5, Marietta Landwehr. And lane 6, Alendra Hauser. Segal in lane 4, pulling ahead.
If she's tired, she's not showing it. She has some great form and great tempo, um, rounding out her first 50, sorry, first 25. She's coming into the flags now. Her entry time, a 43.77. Time drop for her, about half a second. Half a second may not sound like a lot, but in an event as short as the 50-yard butterfly, that's huge. Lane 3, Alexa Patton dropping about 3 seconds off her entry time of 109.16.
Alexander Hauser closing in on the finish in lane 6, seated with a 144.58. Looks like we're going to have a major time drop here. She's going to go a 1:30.21, which is a 14.5 second time drop, which is really impressive. Next up, event number 20, the men's 50-yard butterfly, heat 1 of 1. In the water. In lane 2, we have Daniel James. Looks like a no-show from 3 and 4. Lane 5, Said Raza. Lane 6, Andre Dingino. Lane 7, Rocky Rochlitz. And lane 8, Luke Cast. Dingino in lane 6, pulling ahead, but watch out for Said Raza. We saw him earlier in, I believe, the 25 freestyle, but inside the flags, looks like lane 6, Andre Dingino is gonna out-touch Raza in lane 5, going a 34.2, out-touching him by 0.34, which means Andre Dingino is your men's 50-yard butterfly champion with a time of 34.20.
Super close times. They're neck and neck. That just goes to show how every single turn, every single stroke is incredibly important. 0.34 is the difference between just a little bit extra on the wall, maybe one extra dolphin kick on the underwaters.
Next up, event 21, the women's 50-yard freestyle. We're going to have 3 heats of this event, then followed by event number 22, the men's 50-yard freestyle with 7 heats. We want to thank our broadcast crew for coming out today. We have Matthias Klemp and Kanoa Farias on our cameras, Liam Kahn and Francis in our broadcast room, and obviously here, my name is Luke Petro, and this is my co-announcer, Ethan Audette, bringing you the action here from Libertyville High School.
In the water now, event number 21, the women's 50-yard freestyle, heat 1 of 3. And they're off. In lane 2, Katie Hajost. Lane 3, Monica Luswitz. Lane 4, Alexandra Hauser. Lane 5, Taylor Way. Lane 6, Sophia Tweel. Lane 7, Lily Koskelski. Lane 8, Emily West. Our top seed here is lane 2, Katie Hajost. Her entry time, a 1:16.57. We see here a commanding lead from lane 3. That's Alexandra Hauser. Her entry time a 1:25.95. She's going to be looking to drop some serious time now, coming into the flags at about 42 seconds.
The 50-yard freestyle, obviously a pretty fast event. Only 2 lengths long, so you're really able to open up and push, push, push.
She just dropped about 30 seconds off her entry time. That's lane 3, Monica Lesowitz, coming in with a time of 48.25. Trailed just now by lane 2 with a 1:11.89. About a 7-second drop for Katie Hadjos.
Concluding our heat, lane 6, Sophia Tweel, only 17 years old, coming in at the time of 1:47.68. Next up, heat 2 of 3.
This is heat 2 of the women's 53, 2 lengths in the goal.
In this heat, in lane 1, we have Maddie McLaughlin. Lane 2, Natalie Polek. Lane 3, Jenny Gustafson. Lane 4, Jennifer Matola. Lane 5, Shelby Lawrence. Lane 6, Lauren Miller. And lane 7, Debbie Wall. You know, Ethan, Maddie McLaughlin in lane 1, another person who we know goes to Libertyville with us. She was actually nominated for the homecoming court back in the fall, which was really cool. Some really close seed times here between lanes 3 through 5, all seated with 104s. We'll see how they can hold up. And they are off. All very close together. Lane 1, Maddie McLaughlin pulling ahead. Down at the bottom of your screen there. Can she keep her lead against lane 4, Jennifer Matola? At the turn, McLaughlin stays ahead. Matola in hot pursuit. Matola, though, some pressure from lane 5, Shelby Lawrence. But still head-to-head against McLaughlin. Matola head at the flags. Can she keep her lead? Looks like she does. Bit of a soft touch there, but around a minute for Matola. Yep, minute 0.51. Followed closely by McLaughlin in lane 1 with a 1:02.05. All really close times there. Lane 4, Matola, seated with a 1:04.03. That's a 3.5 second time drop for her, which is amazing in a 50-yard freestyle. 50-yard freestyle, probably one of the hardest events to drop time in. The shorter the distance, the harder it is to drop time. But seeing these time drops, it's amazing. Next up, the third and final heat of the 50-yard freestyle. Almost everyone here below a minute. Watch out for lane 1, Lindsay Croning. She's with a 46.95. As we look here in lane 1, Lindsay Croning, lane 2, Amanda Church, lane 3, Lindsay Piscool, lane 4, Morgan Hornaday, lane 5, Catherine Reed, lane 6, Nellie Overton, lane 7, Tempest McKenzie, and lane 8, Angela Argueta. Everyone in this heat from Stars, which is pretty interesting. You don't see that happen very often. And they're off. Lane 5, Catherine Reed. A bit of a lead off the start, but lane 4, Morgan Hornaday, able to take that. But watch out, lane 1, Lindsay Croning, able to start pulling ahead at the 25-yard. Great turn from Croning. Just look at those underwaters, pulling out ahead of the rest of the pack. The great breakout. Battle for second right now between Catherine Reed and Morgan Hornaday. Hornaday able to build that lead off of the turn. But lane 1 inside the flags, Lindsay Croning is going to take the win, touching with a time of 49. Excuse me, looks like it was a soft touch. Looks like she touched with a 49, taking first. Or a 48.34, excuse me. In second place, lane 5, Catherine Reed able to take that lead from Hornaday, only out touching by .04, a very close race. But that means Lindsay Croning is your women's 50-yard freestyle champion with a time of 48.39. Next up, event number 22, the men's 50-yard freestyle, heat 1 of 7. 50-yard freestyle is one of the most popular events, so this is why you'll see a lot of these heats. If you're just tuning in, we want to welcome you to Reach for the Stars 2026, hosted by the Star Special Olympics team. We're about to start event 22, the men's 50-yard freestyle, with 7 heats. In this first heat, we have in lane 3, Joe O'Brien, lane 4, Logan Null, lane 5, Sean Clancy, lane 6, Luke Greenbaum, and lane 7, Benjamin Walkington. As of right now, we have 17 viewers, so we want to thank everyone for watching. Our viewers are what drives us here at Wildcat Productions, a student-run broadcasting club at Libertyville High School. So we want to thank everyone for watching and tuning in and supporting us. Ethan, I know at the beginning of the meet we talked a little bit about this pool at Libertyville High School. This is a pretty new pool built in 2019. It is a 50-meter Olympic-sized pool, and it actually replaced our older pool back where is currently a wrestling gym and a dance studio, which is really interesting. The old pool used to be only 6 lanes. very shallow at one end, I remember, and it was only 25 yards. This has been a major upgrade and has allowed us to host a lot more events, including long course meets in the summer through Rise Aquatics Club. And you know, especially with training here, having two ends of the pool is really nice and allows more opportunities. But starting off heat 1 of 7 of the men's 25-yard freestyle, we have lane 6, Luke Greenbaum, speeding away. We saw his name earlier. He was a heat winner in the 25-yard freestyle, I believe. He's seated with a 127 flat, but with his current pace, he is going to demolish that time. At the turn, at about the 29-second mark, just look how aggressive those arms are and those kicks are. That is going to allow him to just fly through the water. In these 50s, you don't want to leave anything behind in the tank. That's why you'll see all of these swimmers just going at it as hard as they can. Inside the flags, Greenbaum closing in on the minute mark. Will he go sub-minute? Looks like not, but he touches at the with a 1:03.71, demolishing his seed time of 127 flat. In second place, we have lane 3, Joe O'Brien, with a time of 1:17.44, dropping over 20 seconds.
Third place is lane 4, Logan Knoll, 11-year-old. His finishing time was 1:23.73, dropping about 6 seconds from his entry time of 1:29.57.
If I had to guess, in lane 8, that would be Sean Clancy. On our heat sheets on Clancy was supposed to be in lane 5. I don't know if there's awards. You could probably go downstairs and ask. The crowd going wild for lane 8, who we are assuming is Sean Clancy. Looks like the crowd's shouting, John. And he goes to a 3:17.5. Next up, we have heat 2 of 7. If you are tuning in, we are running about 8 minutes ahead of schedule. here at Libertyville High School for the Reach for the Stars 2026, hosted by the Stars Special Olympics team. In this next heat in lane 3, Jonathan Friedman, lane 4, Ryan Carden, lane 5, Daniel Burmeister, lane 6, Kyle Johnson, lane 7, Adam Tracy, and lane 8, Cooper Enright. Everyone here is seated pretty close together, but watch out for lane 3, Jonathan Friedman. He's seated fastest with a 109.01. We'll see how he does. We want to give a shout out to all the volunteers here today. Pool, in my opinion, a little hotter than usual. It's been pretty humid this week, so our volunteers are doing a great job, and seeing so many of them here is honestly amazing because these meets are a big thing to pull off. In the water now, we can see lane 4, Ryan Carden pulling ahead of the rest of the pack. At the 25, he hits at about the 22-second mark, building his gap. Battle for second, though, between lane 7, Adam Tracy, and lane 3, Jonathan Friedman. But looks like Tracy in lane 7 is pulling ahead.
Lane 4, Ryan Carden, entry time of a 1:14.97. He's going to come in and finish right now with a 48.27 for him. That's going to be a 26-second drop. That's huge, especially in an event as short as the 50-yard freestyle. Second place, that's going to be lane 7, Adam Tracy. His time of 1:03.01, a 16-second drop for him.
Yeah, Ethan, the 50 freestyle, it's so hard to drop time. You'll go an entire season without dropping time sometimes. So seeing these drops, it's really impressive what everyone can do here. Up next, we have heat 3 of 7 of the men's 50-yard freestyle. Everyone here is seated between 104s and 101s, so we're going to see some close racing. In this next heat, heat 3 of 7. In lane 3, we have Benjamin Kasulis, lane 4, Connor Wood, lane 5, Daniel Brown, lane 6, Cameron Callahan, and lane 7, Troy Schurig. Lane 3, Benjamin Kasulis pulling ahead of the pack. He is the youngest swimmer here, only 12 years of age, seated with a 1:03.23. He is looking to drop some time. Battle for second, though. Watch out in lane 4, Connor Wood, and lane 6, Cameron Callahan. Wood able to pull out over Callahan. Callahan now under pressure from lane 5, Daniel Brown. But Benjamin Kasulis will win with a time of 47.26, which is a big time drop. Looks like everyone in this heat breaking a minute. Everyone was seated over a minute, and everyone finished under a minute, which is really impressive. Following this heat, we have heat 4 of 7. In this next heat, heat 4 of 7, we have in lane 1, Thomas Blackett, lane 2, Kieran Callahan, lane 3, Jonah Malecki, lane 4, Tim Siebert, lane 5, Ben Campbell, lane 6, Eugene Reitman, lane 7, Nicole Sanase, and lane 8, Tier Thomas. Everyone here seated between 58 and 49. Tim Siebert in lane 4, seated with that 49 flat. Can he pull a win out today? Obviously, seat times have not been telling us much because everyone has been dropping so much time. So we don't know who will win. Held for a while there, but they are off. Siebert in lane 4, able to pull ahead. Watch out for lane 1, who we don't have on our heat sheet. Siebert pulling ahead after the turn. Look how aggressive he is going at it. Arms flying, legs kicking, building that gap. Can he keep it going into the flags? He was seated with a 49 flat. He keeps this up, he will drop some time. And at the wall, he goes a 46.89, dropping a little over 2 seconds. Followed by lane 1 with a 51.17, lane 3 with a 52.22, lane 4 with a 53.67. Next up, we have heat 5 of 7. Some really fast times here, all in the 40s.
In lane 1, Brett Wilkinson. Lane 2, Kevin Stith. Lane 3, Daniel Mathy. Lane 4, Brian Hall. Lane 5, Shaw Kiernan. Lane 6, Rodrigo Bolivar. Lane 7, David Ulmer. And lane 8, John Mixis.
Looks like a full heat here. Off they go. Lane 7, David Ulmer, who we saw earlier. Really aggressive stroke from him into his flip turn. Great flip turn from him. Just building that gap there. But watch out, battle for second between lanes 3 and 4. That's Daniel Mathy, and in lane 4, Brian Hall. David Ulmer finishes with a time of what looks like it was a 54 or 34.86. In second, it's going to be lane 3, Daniel Mathy, finishing with a time of 42.34. Next up, heat 6 of 7 of the men's 50-yard freestyle. Second to last heat here. Everyone seated in the low 34s with lane 4, Ryan Nash, seated a 39.99, just below the 40-second mark. We'll see if anyone else can break the 40-second time. In lane 1, we have Thomas Quast. Lane 2, Austin Palafis. Lane 3, Chris Weebler. Lane 4, Ryan Nash. Lane 5, Nathan Ruff. Lane 6, Jake Hickey. Lane 7, Matt Weebler. And lane 8, Luke Cast. Looks like 2 Weeblers in this lane, Chris and Matt. I wonder if they have siblings. Both the same age, 20 years of age, from the same team. Last weekend, our same crew broadcasted the Rise A Plus 2026 meet. We saw lots of sibling races, so it'll be interesting to see. We have a good one here. Off in the water, looks like a race for first between lane 2, Chris Weebler, and lane 4, Ryan Nash. Or excuse me, lane 2, Austin Palafis. But watch out for lane 1, Thomas Quast, getting that lead on Palafis as they go into the final 10 yards there at the bottom of your screen, inside the flags. Who will take the win? And it's going to be, looks like lane 2 with a 36.94. That is Austin Palafis. Seated a 42.31. He dropped about 6 seconds. Next up, we have the 7th and final heat of the men's 50-yard freestyle. Everyone in the 30s, but let's take a look at Caleb Vasika from 18 years of age. He's seated with a 30.85.
He's going to be looking for that sub 30 mark. Less than a second. That's going to be a huge milestone for him if he can get that.
Doesn't seem like he is here to swim, though. Looks like a no swim in lane 4.
Well, our next 3 fastest times, it's going to be lane 3, lane 5, and lane 6. Less than half a second separating the 3 of them. It's going to be a close race.
In this heat, in lane 1, Logan Burgess. Lane 2, Gustavus Gilbertson. Lane 3, Alonso Dagnino. Lane 4, Caleb Vasika. Lane 5, John Serve. Lane 6, Maxim Reininger. Lane 7, Colin Renengal. And lane 8, Gavin Lochner. Lane 6, Maxim Reininger, who we saw earlier in the 100 fly, is pulling ahead inside the flags. He will win with a 33.26. That makes Maxim Reininger your men's 50-yard freestyle champion. All a close race between 2nd and 5th. Everyone in the 35s between 1, 2, 3, and 5. Really fast times there, which leads us into our next event number 23, the women's 25-yard breaststroke, which it looks like will be combined with the event number 24, the men's 25-yard breaststroke. The women will be in 1 through 6, and the men will be in 7 and 8. Excuse me, 1 through 5. As we go to the other end of the pool on the bulkhead, which is the white bridge dividing the pool into the 25-yard segment. We'll have our swimmers getting ready to swim fast. There's only one heat of this combined event.
All right, timers, remember we're combining the 25-yard breaststroke. Events 23 and 24 will swim together. As well, events 25 and 26 will swim together. That's the 100-yard pack.
If you are just tuning in, we want to thank you for joining us today for the Reach for the Stars 2026. We are about to start the mixed 25-yard breaststroke. There is one heat. Our women are in 1 through 5, and our 2 men are in 7 and 8. In the water, getting ready to go. Looks like a bit of miscommunication there. Lane 1 seems to have misstarted. We want to thank our broadcast crew for coming out here today. On our cameras, we have Matthias Klemp and Kanoa Farias. In the broadcast room, we have Liam and Francis. And out here, my name is Luke.
And my name's Ethan.
We are here to, we are pleased to bring to you the presentation of Reach for the Stars 2026. We are still getting ready for the mixed 25-yard breaststroke here at Libertyville High School. And they are off. In lane 5, Kate Welling pulling a lead over both the men's and women's sections of this event. She was seated with a 27.5, the fastest out of the entire heat. Inside the flags. Looks like she'll be able to drop some time. And she wins, finishing in second, lane 2, Maxine Del Mundo. As you can see on the scoreboard on your screen, the times are not going to stop for the 25s. That's why we have our timers behind the blocks who have volunteered their time today to make this meet possible. Up next, we have event 25 and 26, which will be combined into one heat of the 100-yard backstroke. in this combined heat, we have in lane 1 Anna Fang, in lane 2 Olivia Jens, in lane 3 Caroline Polian, in lane 4 starting the men's we have Lucas Goldweski, in lane 5 Gavin Lochner, lane 6 Thomas Quast, lane 7 Samuel Devereaux, and lane 8 Johnny Seeger. Looks like lanes 1 and 2 still getting ready to get in the water. In this 100-yard backstroke, four total lengths of the pool, or 250s. In these hundreds are still considered sprints. However, usually you go out about 2 seconds faster your first 50 than your second 50. Looking at our seed times here, lane 4, Lucas is seated first with a 121.5. We'll see if he can take that lead over lane 5, Gavin Lochner, who's seated a 126.
You see a strong start, about a body length now. He's stretching that out. That's lane 4, Lucas Gobuski. Backstroke is another one of those long axis strokes. That means you're going to be rotating along an imaginary line from your head to your toes, compared to a short axis stroke like breaststroke or butterfly. You're rotating around your hips. You may think that it's just like your arms and legs propelling you, but really that rotating, really stretching out as you reach up, using your core to pull your arm down. That's where a lot of the power comes from. We see lane 3. That's Caroline Coulian holding her goggles in her hand. Looks like they might have slipped off on the start.
That is one thing I'm quite honestly petrified about, is my goggles falling off before my races. I'm always, making sure they're very, very tight.
For me, I think backstroke might be the last stroke I want that to happen on too. With a lot of those strokes, I'm kind of fine opening my eyes underwater, but with backstroke, with your eyes out of the water, it's the splashing that does it for me. Especially in a stroke, you got to be able to look up at the flags. That's how they know when they're going to be finishing. A lot of swimmers know their stroke counts. Once they see the flags, maybe they have 4 strokes, then they do their flip turn, or they're expecting to finish the race.
So, as we can see, lane 4, Lucas Gobletsky finishing with a time of 1:23.71. A slight ad for him, but still a well-deserved win and a great swim. Finishing up this heat, lanes 2 and 3. Up next, we have the women's 50-yard breaststroke, event 27. There are 2 heats of this event. Obviously, Ethan, contrary to our event that we just had, breaststroke, short axis stroke, I know you were talking about it. Breaststroke is a very complex stroke. You have the pull, which is where you bring your arms towards you and you see your upper body kind of shoot up almost vertical out of the water. And then you have your push, which is where you throw your hands forward, which is then tied to your kick. It's a very, especially when it's done right, it's a very, very hard stroke, because you're using your hips to drive forward, you're shooting your arms really fast. And I know my coach has talked a lot about it, is having fast hands. So when you pull up to that vertical position, a lot of swimmers tend to almost freeze or pause for a second. And if you're swimming fast breaststroke like in this 50, you want to minimize that time where you're up. It's just shoot, 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 and do it really fast. In this heat, in lane 3, we have Lily Kosleski. In lane 4, Jennifer Matola. Lane 5, Katie Hajost, and lane 6, Morgan Hornaday. And lane 7, Maria Sedek. And they're off, all very close together. Looks like lane 6, that is Morgan Hornaday, getting a slight lead. You can see the tempo there from lane 4, Jennifer Matola. You know, tempo is, obviously, when I was talking about fast hands, you want to have a good tempo, but you want to have length to your stroke. So kind of two different strategies there from lane 6 and lane 4. Lane 6 having a much longer, powerful stroke, whereas lane 4, Jennifer Matola, trying to get aggressive with a fast tempo. Matola, though, under pressure from Sedek in lane 7 and lane 5, Katie Hajost. Can she keep her lead to get a second place? However, Morgan Hornaday in lane 6, now inside the flags, looking like she's going to take the win. She comes in with a 1:17.92. She seeded a 1:24.82, so that's a pretty big time drop for her. Coming in second, lane 7, Maria Sedek, finishing with a 1:26.6. Finishing up this heat, lane 3, Lily Kosleski, coming in with a 1:53.29, which is a major time drop for her. She was seated at a 2:31.18 and broke that 2-minute mark. Really impressive. Next up, we have heat 2 of 2, final heat of the women's 50-yard breaststroke. Watch out for lane 4, Katie Welling. She's seated at a 58.72, which is the only person seated under a minute. We'll see if lane 5, Shelby Lawrence, seated a 1:02.61, can challenge her and break a minute. However, it seems like Lawrence not behind the blocks, possibly a no swim. If you're just joining us here, we're running about 7 minutes ahead of schedule at the Reach for the Stars 2026, hosted by the Stars Special Olympics team. In the water right now, we have lane 2, Alex Fix, and lane 4, Katie Welling. Most of this heat looks like a no swim. Welling seated at a 58.72, seeing if she can keep her sub-minute time. Almost at the 25-yard mark, touching at about a 28. Just look at those underwaters from Welling. Another big component to breaststroke is conserving your speed underwater. When you're pushing off of a turn or coming off of a start, that is when you are the fastest in your race. So you want to conserve that speed, having a tight streamline and doing that breaststroke breakout, which consists of a pull-out underwater followed by a kick. Inside the flags, Welling comes in, looks like a 1:00.43. A little bit of an ad, but a great swim. Followed by Alex Fix with 1:13.67. A little bit of a subtraction from her seat time with a 1:13.98. So great swims. Next up, event 28, the men's 50-yard breaststroke. this event will actually be our last heat of our individual events. Or excuse me, this will be our second to last heat of our individual events. The next event will be a combined 400-yard freestyle. And then it's time for our relays. Based on where we are at in the meet, we should be done pretty early. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Reach for the Stars 2026. We are almost done with our roster of events for today. We've seen some great swims so far, lots of monster time drops. We are currently waiting and preparing for the men's 50-yard breaststroke.
After that, we'll have a combined men's and women's 400-yard freestyle. Then into our relays, where we'll have the mixed 100-yard freestyle 4x25 relay, then the 100-yard medley relay, and the 200-yard freestyle relay, and then the 200-yard medley. Then the 400-yard freestyle relay following that.
You know, Ethan, I honestly love relays. I feel like, aside from the fact that, you know, you get to sprint more and you get to do the fun relay starts, it's so much more of a team effort, contrary to individual events that then can get combined into a full team score.
We are adding a heat in the women's 50 breaststroke. So this will be at event 3. We're going to have Amanda, Shelby, and Debbie swim the 50 breaststroke. Ladies, step up. We're ready. Well, not step up, but move up the block.
It looks like they're adding a heat for the women's 50-yard breaststroke. Yes, up now, event number 27, the women's 50-yard breaststroke, heat 3. Lane 3 seems to have about a half body length lead ahead of lanes 5 and 6.
Shout out to all of our swimmers watching in the gym. You guys have done such a great job so far, and it's really fun to watch all this swimming going on. As we can see, lane 3, Amanda Profiter pulling ahead with close competition between lane 5, Shelby Lawrence. Looks like Katie Welling is going to keep her time with her first place. But in this heat, lane 5, Shelby Lawrence comes in first with a 104.52, beating out lane 3, Amanda Profiter, by about 1.2 seconds. Up next, we have Heat 1 of event 28, the men's 50-yard breaststroke. Lanes 4 and 5 seated with a 44 and a 45, almost exactly a second apart. I know someone in the crowd just chanted two-handed touch. With breaststroke and also butterfly, your turn, it has to be very specific. We call them open turns because contrary to a flip turn where you do a flip, you're keeping your body more open. So you always need to touch with two hands instead of just one. You touch with one hand, you pull the other back, and you kind of rotate the arm that touched over into an open turn. So it's much different. You get a little more air also, like you can kind of breathe while you're turning. And it's just butterfly and breaststroke that you need to do that. But if you don't touch with two hands, a very common mistake, you do get disqualified. Getting up, ready to go. They are off. Really good start there from lane 3, James Williams. As you can see there, William James getting a great lead over lane 4, Logan Burgess. William James seated with a 58.37. Looks like he is looking to smash his time today. Coming into the flags at the 40-second mark. He's going to drop some major time. He hits the wall with a, looks like it was a 46. We'll see what the scoreboard reads. 53.27, that does not seem right. Looked like about a 46 for him, which would have been a 12-second time drop. Oh, there we go, 45.91. What a great time for him. Followed closely by lane 4, Logan Burgess with a 49.19. Next up, we have event 29 and 30, the combined 400-yard freestyle. Only 5 swimmers listed here on the heat sheet. 400-yard freestyle, pretty big event here. In lane 1, we have Melanie Hardwood. In lane 2, Amanda Profiter. Lane 3, Edith Reynolds. And lane 5, Lucas Gobleski. .400-yard freestyle. It's a pretty common event found in long course, especially with the 400-meter freestyle. In short course, you see more of the 500, but the 400 is very similar. It's the same thing that we were talking about earlier with the 200. You want to go out with what some may call easy speed. And that's going out when you're the strongest, you have the most energy, knowing that you can go faster with less energy. So you go out, have a nice, long, powerful stroke, and then the second 50 is really where it matters. That's where you're going to start determining your pace. So you want to kind of push a little bit, almost a little harder than your first 50 to help establish a smooth pace. And that's kind of the same thing with the third 50. Once you have that pace established, you want to almost build throughout because it's going to start taking more effort to maintain that speed, but you want to build even after that. Once you start getting to the last 150 or even 100, that's when you want to start picking up your pace and start not necessarily sprinting, but really start to build that speed. As you can see, not yet, but on the other end, on the bulkhead, we have counters. Counters are really important because in these longer events, when you're focused on your pace, it's easy to forget what length you're on. So in these longer events, we have counters, which will essentially usually count up from 1, and they'll go up by 2s to show what length you're on. As we see, lane 5 is actually counting down. And with the counters, you can have it allows for more strategy because you can shake the counter to signify go faster, or you can shake it side to side. So there's a lot of strategy to these longer distance events. In lane 5, Lucas pulling ahead. We'll see he's on his 75 as his counter showing 13 there, counting down from 15. He's keeping a pretty nice long stroke and a good tempo with his kick. The kick is really important in these distance events because it'll help you maintain your momentum. I know earlier in the 200 we talked about having fast turns because turns build up time or help build up time over these long events. Lucas not slowing down, having a very aggressive stroke. And then also the kicking helps you maintain that speed for your arms and putting less pressure on your arms so they don't die first. Great turn there, an aggressive push off from lane 4. In the women's section, we have Edith Reynolds in lane 3, leading Amanda Profiter in lane 2 and Melanie Hardwood in lane 1. Edith turning as her counter shows 5. Lucas in lane 5, splitting a 44-1-6. Lane 3, splitting a 54-1-8. Edith Reynolds, the youngest of the women, only age 29. She seated a 6:58.05 and is looking to drop some time.
You see here lane 2, that's Amanda Profiter breathing every 4 strokes. Something that is impressive feat to do at this point of the 500-yard freestyle. I know personally by this point I'm breathing every 2 strokes, which is what we see our other 3 competitors doing. But she's able to keep her head down and breathe every 4.
Yeah, it's interesting. When a lot of times when swimmers start out swimming, they're taught to breathe every 3, 5, or 7. Try and breathe the opposite side every stroke. However, once you start getting older and doing these distance events, you start to develop sometimes like a gallop stroke, which means you only breathe to one side because one arm is a little stronger than the other and you're able to kind of power up and gain a bit of elevation on your stroke, which allows you to drive better, especially with more hip rotation. And obviously breathing, it's important because you don't want to breathe too much because while oxygen is great, we all love our oxygen.
I'm a big oxygen fan myself.
When you breathe and lift your head, you're actually losing some speed. So you have to find a good balance between how many times you breathe, how you breathe, etc. Because while having oxygen, especially for these long events, is important, you also don't want to lose speed over how many breaths you take over these longer events. Lucas in lane 5. Only 100 left. Starting to pick it up. Splitting a 46.58. Has been very, very consistent over this 500.
And a reminder for our parents and families, this event is being live streamed. You can watch it on YouTube after you get home.
Lucas coming in for his last 75.
Just go to Wildcat Productions and then
This is the time in the race where you need to start picking it up, and you can see him starting to do that, starting to kick more. Lucas was seated with a 5:37. Looking like he's going to add a bit of time today, but still a great swim. Comes out with a 45.88, going a little faster than his last 50, which is what he needs to drive it home. Coming into his last 25, Lucas Golubwitsky pushing last 15 yards of the 400-yard freestyle. A long and tough event. These swimmers swim for minutes and minutes straight. It is painful, but he is almost done. The end is in sight, inside the flags. He will go a 5:56.27, which is a great time for him. A bit of an ad, but a great swim. In the women's section, Edith Reynolds on her last 50. She went a 56 flat on her last split. She seated a 6:58. See if she can subtract some time from her seat time. Edith Reynolds on her last 5 yards as she passes Amanda Profiter in lane 2. Reynolds finishes with a 6:58.73. Almost exactly her seed time, just a little bit of an ad. Lane 2, Amanda Profiter also on her last 50. Coming in about 35 yards to go. You can see a nice aggressive kick as she goes into her last turn.
We see lane 1, Melanie Harwood, her entry time in 8:45.48. She looks well on pace for a huge time drop here as she is coming up to the flags now on her second to last 25. You know, she's seen the red boxes from her counter. She's got to be excited that she's almost done with this race.
Our counters here, they go, obviously you go up starting at 1, go up by 2 each time, or counting down as we saw in lane 5. And then always your last number is a red box to signify, hey, you're done, and push, push, push. As we see lane 2, Amanda Profiter, about a 3-second ad in these distance events, especially once you're a pretty seasoned swimmer like the ones who raced here. It's harder to drop time because it takes so much effort to swim these events, and doing them at the end of the meet is very hard. But they all swim really well.
That's a 20-second drop for Melanie Harwood in lane 1. Her entry time in 8:45.48. She just came in with an 8:25.90.
That concludes our mixed 400-yard freestyle. If you're just tuning in, we're about to have some fun and watch some relays. My name is Luke Pachero.
And my name's Ethan Audette. We're your announcers here for this meet. Coming into the relays now, we just saw the 400-yard freestyle. That was the end of the individual events. Up next is going to be event number 32, the mixed 100-yard freestyle. That means each of our 4 swimmers per team are going to be swimming a 25.
We have what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heats left. But obviously these are relays, they're fast events, since all the swimmers are only swimming a little bit towards a bigger swim. And we're excited to watch what these teams can do. Our first relay will be the 100-yard freestyle relay, 4x25. So we'll have 2 swimmers each end, and we'll have some good racing. I know, like we were saying earlier, in my opinion, relays are probably they're the best event to watch because it's a team effort. You know, you have 3 to 4 swimmers in a relay, and while usually, you know, your individual events do get points towards an overall rankings in meets, the relays are just kind of fun because, you know, you have a small team, you see the other teams around, you're like, oh, I'm going to beat them. And it's really fun to race, to watch. So it'll be exciting to watch these events. We want to give a special thank you to our broadcast crew today for coming out. We have Kanoa and Matthias on our cameras, Liam and Francis inside the broadcast room bringing you directing and graphics, and me and Ethan announcing. We also want to give a special thank you to Wildcat Productions, our student-run broadcast club, for giving us all this equipment today. I want to thank Anna Folks and Michael Reed for allowing us to use this space and giving us the opportunity to broadcast this meet. It's been really fun to do, and we can't wait for these relays coming up. We also want to thank all the officials, timers, and helpers today for volunteering their time to come out and help make this meet happen. These are big meets, lots of swimmers, lots of moving parts, and all the logistics behind it are very complicated. So we want to give a special thanks to everyone for donating their time today and coming out.
You should have lanes 1, 3, and 5. Lane 3, you get the first swimmer to step up.
So we have all our relays in lanes 1, 3, 5, and 8.
Let's go, girls. Let's go. This is a freestyle relay.
So just a reminder, this is the mixed 100-yard freestyle relay, which is a 4x25. So each swimmer swims a 25. One person starts on each, or two people start on each end.
And they're off. This is heat 1 of event number 32, the mixed 100-yard freestyle. You see here, that's going to be lane 5. They're going to be in the lead by about half a body length. Looks like lane 3 had a bit of a better
We explained it 3
relay
times.
start. About 2 body lengths ahead in that second 25.
In first, lane 3.
Neck and neck into the wall. It's going to be just a race between those two swimmers.
Oh yes, excuse me. Looks like lane 3, at least on a scoreboard, lane 3 said finish first, but from what it looks like, lane 5 is going to take the win with a 145.25. Lane 3 coming in at the 153 mark. Lane 1 almost done with their 75. Coming into the final 5 yards. Lane 1. Finishing with a 2:57.43. Next up, we have Heat 2, final heat of the mixed 100-yard freestyle, or 4x25 free relay. Looking at the time right now, we are currently 18 minutes ahead of schedule.
Up next is going to be event number 33, the mixed 100-yard medley 4x25. Sorry, scratch that. Heat 2 of event 32, the mixed 100-yard freestyle is up next.
If you're still tuning in, we want to thank you for all your support. This means a lot to us to bring to you these events, and we want to thank you again for all the support. Looks like there are no show from lanes 1 and 5, which just leaves lane 3, which is the Libertyville Stars relay, seated with a 2:03.86. Coming in at the end of the first 25. Around a 30 or a 31. Coming in the last 35 yards. The Stars relay almost at that last 25 mark. Look at those kicks from fourth swimmer. Sorry for the absence of names. Our heat sheets don't have the names of all the swimmers, but we will do our best. Stars relay comes in. The time of 2:08.75. A little bit of an ad, but a great swim nonetheless. Next up, we have event 33, the mixed 100-yard medley relay. So this relay in the same format. There's 4 lengths, 4 swimmers for each length, and 2 on one end, 2 on the other. However, it is a medley relay, so it is going to be all 4 strokes. But again, it is different from the individual medley. The individual medley goes fly, back, breast, free, but the relay starts off with the backstroke because doing a regular start and then flipping over to backstroke is a bit awkward. So start off with back, and then you kind of build up speed from there. You go 20 breaststroke, then fly, then free. So often you'll see a lot more of specialty swimmers, breaststrokers, butterflyers in these events, whereas the freestyle counterparts are just sprinters.
Lanes 1, 3, 6, and 8.
If you're just joining us, we are getting ready for event 33, the mixed 100-yard medley relay, or 4x25. Looking at the time here, it is currently 11:56 local time, and we are about 15 minutes ahead of schedule. We're currently scheduled for a 12:30 end time, but we have been building a gap to finish early, which will be nice.
For those joining us from a different time zone, it is currently at 5:56 Zulu time. That's the Greenwich Mean Time at the National Meridian in Greenwich, England. Event 33 in the water now, ready to go. Event 33, they're off. We see a strong commanding lead there from lane 1.
As we can see, lane 1 on the breaststroke leg, getting ready for the butterfly. As we were saying earlier, the order is different from the individual medley. Instead of back or fly, back, breast free, it's back, breast, fly free. Just because the backstroke start, obviously it's harder to do with a relay start. So usually backstroke leads off. Lane 1 on the fly leg, pulling a lead in front of 6 and 8 in second and third respectively. Or excuse me, 8 is ahead. Seems like there have been some false touches. Lane 1 in the last 10 yards. As you can see, our white buoys on the lane line from the wall to the flags is 5 yards. That little white one past the flags is the 10, and then same on the other side. Lane 1 finishes with a time of 1:30.27, which is an amazing time for a medley relay. Medley relays tend to be a bit slower than their freestyle counterparts, as freestyle is the fastest stroke, so that's a really good time for them. Coming to the wall, lane 8 able to edge out lane 6. 8 comes in with a time of 2:00.38. Lane 6 with a 2:04.24. And finishing out this heat, lane 3 in the last 10 yards with a time of 18.74. Next up, we have the mixed 200-yard freestyle, or the 4x50 free relay. So obviously, this is a very similar event. It's the same format as the 100-yard freestyle, just double. So every swimmer swims a 50, which means every swimmer will start on the competition end with the blocks, that you can see on your screen right now. If you are 12 years or older and you want to help volunteer, you can actually become an assistant coach for the Stars swim team. Just go to libertyvillestars.com for more information on who to contact. Additionally, if you want to volunteer or help time, you can also contact michael.reed at d128.org.
200-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer will swim 2 lengths of the pool. There will be 1 heat.
Additionally, if you are a swimmer in need of swim gear, look no further than the Kiefer Swim Store. If you are a star swimmer and you need a suit or team apparel, Kiefer has your back. You can go down. They have a store in Wheeling, or you can order online at the Stars Swim Store. As the short whistles blow, we are ready for the mixed 200-yard freestyle, event number 34.
in the water now. Event 34, the mixed 200-yard freestyle. Each swimmer is going to be doing a 50. That's going to be a down and back.
As we mentioned earlier, splitting up these longer events into short segments divided up among 4 people, you're able to get some really fast times here. As we see lane 7 come in with the first 50 split of 32.72, which is blazing fast for a 50 freestyle. Lane 8 able to keep that lead.
Lane 7's entry time is a 2:34.00. They're going to be looking to drop some time here.
Although watch out for lane 6. Lane 6 catching up.
Lane 6 closing the lead to about a body length now.
Actually, wait.
In lanes 6 and 7, we see their third swimmers in the water now. Lane 7 taking the lead. Our final swimmer in for lane 7.
Just look at that tempo. We've seen some big tempo from lanes 7 and 6. Lane 7 on to their last 15 yards. Lane 6 making a big effort to catch up, but the gap is too big. But lane 6 not giving up. Lane 7 inside the flags, coming in with a 2:31.91, which is a about a 2-second subtraction from their seed time. Obviously, the scoreboard's a bit wonky with all the swimmers in the water. The touchpad's gonna be pretty sensitive. And the scoring system counts the number of touches. And so, for example, whereas lane 5 is showing first, they might have touched the pad enough times where it thought that they did at 200. So lane 7 is your winner for the 200-yard freestyle relay, with lane 6 in a close second. If you are still here watching, we want to thank you for supporting. If you like our content, make sure to leave a like. And we're almost at 2,000 subscribers, which will be interesting. Lane 2 on the home stretch. Lane 2 in the last 10 yards. And they touch with a 4:44.23. Next up, we have event 35, the mixed 200-yard medley relay. As you can see there, that was our app. The technical difficulties was a bit cropped in, but you can find all of our broadcasts, including possible future stars broadcasts, on our app, and a calendar for when all of our events are happening. Everything here was student produced, and we want to thank you for supporting us. We are getting ready for event number 35, the mixed 200-yard medley relay, our second to last relay. After this 200-yard medley relay, we will have event number 37, the mixed 400-yard freestyle relay, which will be a 4x100.
If you're just joining us now, this is the 2026 Reach for the Stars meet hosted by the Stars Special Olympics Aquatics Club. We're here at the Libertyville High School Natatorium. Up next, event 35, the mixed 200-yard medley, 4x50 medley relay.
And the other volunteers too.
The time is currently 2:11 p.m. on Super Bowl Sunday. We are running about 12 minutes ahead of schedule. We'll be done a bit early, which will be nice. It's definitely pretty hot in here.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, Luke, who are you rooting for?
I had to look up who was actually playing in it. I watch a lot of college football, but not much NFL.
Here, I got a quick quiz for you, Luke. Who's playing the halftime show?
It was Bad Bunny, right?
Yes, Bad Bunny. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be hype. Anyway, we are preparing for the mixed 200-yard medley or 4x50 medley relay. This is similar to the 100-yard medley relay where it goes backstroke, breaststroke, fly, and free, except every swimmer will swim a 50, and all starting from our competition end with the blocks, as you see on your screen right now. Off they go. Lane 3 pulling ahead out of the pack. Really aggressive backstroke stroke. Obviously with backstroke, you want to be moving your arms as fast as you can, kicking fast, and have your head pretty high up out of the water. Coming into the first 25. Lane 3 stays ahead. Lane 6 on close pursuit. Lane 6 a bit longer of a stroke, but still able to keep up. Lane 3 starting to pull ahead in the last 10 meters or 10 yards of the backstroke segment. On the blocks, Lane 3 ready to go for breaststroke.
A great relay start there from both lane 3 and lane 6.
Very fast tempo from lane 3. We apologize for not having any names on our heat sheet. We are doing our best. Lane 3 at their 25, total of a 75-yard mark. Still faster tempo than lane 6. With relay starts from the blocks, they can be pretty tricky. So the only rule is that your feet can't leave, or both your feet can't leave, or excuse me, one foot has to be touching until the person finishing hits the wall or finishes. So there's a lot of strategy with these. A lot of people do what's called a step over, which where, as you can see on our blocks, they have wedges, and you can kind of put a foot behind the wedge. So a lot of swimmers will do is they will have one foot on the wedge and one foot behind, and they'll step over it because you can get a lot of momentum before the person in front of you finishes. However, it can be pretty tricky and is pretty hard to learn. So that's why you don't see it as much. In lane 6, fast tempo coming to lap lane 5 on their last freestyle leg, coming into the last 25. Lane 6 in their last 5 yards, finishing with a time of 2:32.76. Their seat time was a 2:46.36, so shaving off about 15 seconds, which is pretty impressive. Looking at lane 3, coming in on their last 12.5 yards, passing and taking back second position from lane 4. Lane 3 finishes with a time of 3:07.65. Lane 4, 3:10.02. Rounding off the heat, we have lane 5 coming in for their last 5 yards, and lane 2 about to exchange for their last 50. Lane 5 comes with a 3:30.87. Lane 2 on their last length.
Don't forget to check out that YouTube video at Wildcat Productions.
Lane 2 on their last
Thank everyone for
10
coming.
yards. Inside the flags, and they finish with a time of 4:26.72. And we have our last event of the meet, event number 37, the mixed 400-yard freestyle relay. In this event, there are 4 swimmers still, but they're each swimming 100 freestyle. So a bit of a longer event, but a great one to end the weekend on. Only one relay in this event from Stars Libertyville Aquatics Club, seated with an 8:18.04.
Thank you, Thomas. There are margaritas available in the hospitality lounge.
Getting ready for this 400 freestyle relay. Behind the blocks, we are getting ready for our last event as they are called up to the blocks. And they are off. coming in at the end of the first 50. Splitting a time of 57-1. In the flags for the first 75 yards. Still good tempo. First split was a 57. We'll see what the second split is as our second swimmer gets ready behind the blocks to take over in the last 15 yards. Coming in, first 25 of swimmer number 2. At the 175-yard mark, splitting at 103-1. This is our last heat of the weekend. I hope everyone has enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you all for watching. It means the world to us. And yeah, thank you for all the support. Coming into the final 25 of second swimmer, almost to the halfway point of this race. And at the halfway mark, trading it off onto our third swimmer. Onto the 75 mark, or after the 25 mark for our third swimmer here. Obviously, 400 free relay. It's a pretty long event. So these swimmers are really amazing with how they're able to persevere. And even after doing this after an entire meet is pretty impressive. Coming into their second 50.
If
Still
you're just
pushing
joining
on.
us now, this is the mixed 400-yard freestyle 4x100-yard freestyle relay. This is the 2026 Reach for the Stars meet at Libertyville High School Natatorium. My name is Ethan.
And I'm Luke Buchero.
We are announcers for this meet.
Coming into the final 25 for our third swimmer. Behind the blocks, Leia Madden, ready to anchor this relay off. Madden, we talked about earlier, is actually someone who swims for Libertyville High School. That's how we know her. She's had some impressive races so far today. And we'll see what she can do as the anchor for this relay. Coming into the last 5 yards, Madden ready on the blocks. And she is off. Final 100 of this 400-yard free relay. Coming into the last 50 of this relay, Madden finishing up off this race with a bang. On the last 25, Madden powering up. Last 15 yards. Seat time was an 8:18. We'll see if they can beat that. Last 10 yards. Looks like not going to make that 8:18 mark. But Leia Madden finishes with an 8:22.46 for our final relay. Well, that does it for the Reach for the Stars 2026 at Libertyville High School. We want to thank everyone for making this possible. Our camera crew, Matthias and Kanoa, are people in the room, Liam and Francis. Michael Reed from Star Special Olympics team for making this possible. Wildcat Productions for lending us the equipment. I'm Luke.
And I'm Ethan.
And we thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great Super Bowl Sunday, and we will see you next time.